Hi, I'm Susan. This is Lolly's Blast Off Yoga. We are going to move and flow and stretch and strengthen and really just being aware of how we feel as we move through our practice, and just be aware of how you're feeling and have fun. And we are going to start out on our tummies, lowering down on our tummy, and just rest your forehead on top of your arms for just a few moments, and take just a second here to clear your mind and pay attention to how you're feeling. Trying to breathe through our nose and paying attention to how our breathing feels while we're on our tummy. So just a couple more breaths. And just bring your palms down to your mat. Set your palms right below your shoulders. Look straight down at your mat. And I want you to squeeze your shoulder blades together. So bringing your palms up off the floor, squeeze tight there for just a few moments. Breathing through your nose. And then relax and let your hands come back down to the floor. All right. Let's squeeze our shoulder blades together, bringing our hands up off the floor. And this time, start to lift your legs up off the floor. So lift your heels. We're starting to energize the back muscles, the whole back side of the body. Just relax it down to the floor again. All right, one more time, we're going to add on to it. Start to squeeze your shoulder blades together. Lift your legs up off the floor, but this time, reach back with your hands. Push your fingertips back. Press your palms up towards the ceiling. And now bring your big toes together to touch. So we've come into a full locust pose now. Keep squeezing and reaching. And then relax. Bring your hands back down below your shoulders. Tuck your toes under. And let's press back to an extended child's pose. Reach your hips back. Reach your hands forward. Couple of nice deep breaths. Let's come up to hands and knees. Tabletop position. And let's move through just a couple of cat-cows. Let's start to rock our hips forward, tuck our chin, push into the floor with your hands, rounding your back, and now let's come to a cow. Let your tummy lower down, let your chest lower down, and look up at the ceiling. Push back into a cat, and then back into a cow. One more cat. And one more cow. Just starting to loosen up the back a little bit. Let's tuck our toes under and lift our hips, push back into a downward facing dog. Push your heels back, maybe pedal your feet a little bit. Bend your knees, rock your hips. All right, and now, it doesn't matter if you walk your feet to your hands or you walk your hands back to your feet. Let's just bring our hands and feet together. And from here, plant your feet solid on your mat. Bend your knees a little bit. Let your tummy rest on your legs. Let your head hang. Let your fingertips hang. And then we're going to roll our spine all the way up. So start to just roll up, letting your head and hands come up last. Come up slowly. And roll your shoulders. Okay, so we're going to move side to side on our mat today. I'm going to use my blocks, and we're going to go from right to left. So I'm going to set my blocks on the right side of my mat. And we're going to start out standing in the middle of our mat. Ellie, yeah, if you want to face that way so we can all go the same direction. You're facing the long side of your mat. Let's reach all the way out and raise our hands up overhead. Good. All right, interlace your fingers and push your index fingers straight up. And now we're going to point our fingers to the right and make a crescent. Point to the right. Come to center. And let's point to the left. Make a crescent. Come back to center. And now we're going to do this fun little hoppy thing. So bring your fingertips together at your chest. Okay? Bend your knees and hop apart. Good. All right. And from here, you can turn your toes outward. And what we're going to do now is raise our arms up overhead, and we're going to dip down into a squat. Push your knees apart. Bring your hands down to the tops of your legs. And we're going to take that right shoulder and we're going to push it down towards the floor. Push your right hand into your right leg. Really get a big stretch. Come up to center. And let's bring our left shoulder down. Push towards the floor. Big stretch. And then come all the way up, and we're going to make a 5-point star. Now turn your toes, both feet, to the right. And we're going to come to a triangle pose now. So we're just going to start to hinge our body to the right. Letting your hand come down, just go as far as you'd like to go. And if this bothers you at all, maybe you can bring your hand just behind your waist, or you can reach up towards the ceiling. All right. Now we're going to bring our hands down to our blocks or to the mat and spin your left toes forward. We're going to bring our left knee down to the floor. Okay. Raise your fingertips, coming to a low lunge. Kind of pushing your hips forward. And this time we're going to open our arms like an airplane. And you're going to tip your right wing down towards the floor and raise your left wing up overhead. And then bring your arms back to center. And tip your left wing down, bring your right wing up. Bring your left wing up, reach up towards the sky. And bring your hands down to your blocks or your mat. And now what we're going to do is we're going to start to pivot. We're going to walk our hands or our blocks to the left. Keep that left leg extended out to the side, and we're going to bend the right knee, so we're lunging here. Let's lunge to the right. You can use your blocks. You don't have to use your blocks. You can have your hands together or your hands on the floor. Let's lunge to the left now. I'm using my blocks and walking to the left. And one more time to the right. And now we're going to come to center. Kind of heel toe your feet a little closer together. Turn your toes out, and we're going to lower down into a squat here. Good, good. Just dip down. See how low you can bring your hips. And can you lift up on your tippy toes? Bring your heels up. Bring your heels back down. And bring your hands down to your blocks, your floor, or whatever you're using. And we're going to lunge to the left again. Straighten out that right leg. Lunge to the left. And we're going to lunge to the right. Lunge back to the left. And we're going to pivot again. So we're going to pivot to the left. Spin your right foot around. Come down to your right knee this time. Okay? You got it? There you go. So your right knee's on the floor. Left foot is on the floor. Let's raise our wings up. Reach up into your lunge. And now we'll open up to airplane arms. We're going to lift our left arm, lower your right, and then we're going to bring the right arm up and lower the left. Balancing here. Bring your left arm up and bring your hands back down either to your mat or your blocks. We're going to lift up and we're going to get our feet positioned for triangle pose again. So just kind of get your feet where you want them to be. And we're going to reach up with our right arm this time. Yeah, good. Yeah. And raise up to a 5-point star. Kind of spin your toes out. Okay. And now we're going to come to that squat again. Raise your arms. Lower down. Good. Bring your hands down to the tops of your legs and take your left shoulder and push it down towards the floor. Push down. Come on back up. And take your right shoulder down. Push down. And rise back up. Let's rise back to a 5-point star. Now turn your toes straight ahead. And remember how we hopped it out? We're going to hop it together. So bend your knees, hop together. Good. Raise your hands and interlace your fingers. So we're going to make a crescent to our left. Let's point to the left. Slide your hips. Come back to center. And point to the right. Make another crescent. Come back to center. And just bring your arms back down, roll your shoulders. All right. So let's bring it back down to the mat. We'll put our blocks to the side for now. And come back to the front of your mat whenever you're ready. Let's reach out and lift up. And now bring your fingertips down to the mat. Lift your toes, bend your knees, and push into the floor with each fingertip. And then push your knees back. Oh, that feels good. Let's come to a half lift. Reach back, pull your shoulder blades together. Nicely done. Bring your hands down to your mat and step back to a downward facing dog. Come down to your knees. And this time, we're just going to lower all the way down to our tummy. And just rest your forehead on top of your arms. And we're going to try Shavasana here on our tummy today. Just relax your legs. Let everything completely release. Let your breathing come back to normal. And just take note of how you feel.